Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here, of course, for
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Episode 27? Which is the...
I think we can officially call this episode 1
of part 3.
Of part 3.
Right.
Because what I'm looking at here with the episode is just, it's 3-1, you know? So, yeah, this is essentially season 3 or part 3. And we did transition from a new arc.
We totally did.
Or from an old arc into a new arc.
Joseph's grandson.
Yes.
Dio's back.
Yeah, Dio is in the coffin.
Right.
And we're going to Japan.
Knows? Right. But Joseph's grandson is in jail.
Right, but there's no real grid for what the story is going to be, other than these 3 players are involved.
Right.
And
yes.
I think I'm particularly excited to meet Joseph's grandson because he has big shoes to fill.
He does.
And Joseph, I feel like, is someone that the writer just couldn't bear to kill him off because he's just that cool.
Yeah.
But I really want to see curmudgeon-y old Joseph.
I do. That little bit we
dealing
got
with kind of the little brat,
episode.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's what it's going to be. You got
it's going to be fantastic.
You got the grumpy old Joseph, and you got the young, spunky kind of
whatever personality he has. We don't know yet.
Right, but I feel like that's what it's going to be. Is the idea that he's going to be like, whatever, old man.
Yeah.
Get behind me, you know?
He'll be like,
who are you calling old? Yeah.
I defeated cars. Respect your elders.
Right. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. Super juice.
He's gonna shuffle thing.
All right.
Okay.
Woo, let's go.
I love how they...
This is bizarre.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I love how, even though they're basically extras, they... And look. Yeah. Dio. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, imagine if they happened to just open it when the sun was still out. It's like, oh, Dio's back. No, he's not. He's dead. Oh,
crap, he's back!
I know. I'm so excited, actually.
I am excited too, but oh man.
Jotaro. Still 195 centimeters.
Yep. And 17 years old.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! What? Who said he killed anybody? Oh my gosh. Oh! Is there a little bit of 3D on all the character models now?
I think there might be.
Or just an upgrade to the animation in general, because they're trying to show little micro movements. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows its age a little bit, but it's still much better than before.
Oh yeah. She's remembering how he used to be, but he's gonna be so totally completely different.
Yep. Oh! Oh my gosh!
Okay. What?
All right! JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, here we go!
Okay.
Okay. Oh. What? She's gonna drink some beer. Nice.
He could have just drank it from the top. But...
Yeah.
Whoa.
What?
Okay.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
All right.
Of course he would read Shonen Jump.
So is this something like other than...
What? Oh my gosh.
What in...
What is going on?
How...
Oh, and it protects him.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Holy crap.
Alright.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He did have strange powers, but this is different. Hey! Aha! Joseph Joestar!
Yep.
Within 24 hours! Oh! Oh, okay. That's cool. There's a lineage aspect to it.
Gotcha.
Maybe there is a Hamon connection to the spirit.
Sure. It could also be that since they're going into like another area of the world, maybe they're doing something that's more like from Japanese mythos or something.
Sure. Oh. Oh.
Who's
bodyguard?
That? Why would he need a bodyguard?
All this crap getting...
How did it even get there?
Oh my gosh, he's got legit books and everything.
Did he just like conjure it or something?
I love how big Joseph is, even though he's old. Oh my gosh.
That's exactly what Joseph would do, though.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I love this.
Yeah.
There's so much extra, like... Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You? Cool.
Alright. Chase him. Okay, sure.
The cops are just like, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hamon, but something else too.
It looks different though.
What?
Alright. Alright. Sure.
Whoa, holy crap.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Why not?
Okay, so this thing,
alright.
some kind of colossus
thing.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir!
Alright.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
Oh, there is a Hamon connection.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a Hamon connection. Oh.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like an avatar of his Hamon.
Yeah.
Yeah. A stand.
Okay.
Oh, here comes the genius of a JoJo. Oh my gosh.
Nice. Wow. Okay.
Oh, crap.
Oh. I love it.
Well played, Abdul.
Yeah.
Well played. The little jump cuts.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. So he knows.
He already knows? Okay. All right.
4 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Crap. He's like, ugh.
I don't care.
Oh.
Okay.
Just right in the open here.
Yeah. Okay.
We're fine, go away.
Because you're Joestars.
No, it means they have stands, I think.
Right. But I'm guessing so.
Or they have access
Okay.
to Hamon. Oh!
Okay, and now he has a star too.
Oh, crap.
But
Oh! Oh,
all right,
crap.
yeah.
Didn't we predict that, like,
Yeah.
a long time ago?
Well, because he tried to do that.
Yeah, he did.
Uh-huh.
Yo!
All right. Nice.
Cool. Plotting Dio.
Yeah.
I've missed plotting Dio.
Sweet.
Whoa.
All right. Okay. So they're just totally ditching Hamon, I guess, then?
Essentially.
What?
Dio's gonna have a stand now.
Oh, yeah.
Because he has Jonathan's body.
Yep. But he might not have it on the rest of his body because he has Jonathan's body.
Oh. Oh,
okay.
Crap. Oh, I'm excited.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
Oh my gosh. Ooh,
right.
Stardust Crusaders.
It's
begins.
going.
Part
Yeah,
3.
this is it.
They
Okay.
set up the whole thing
They did.
really quickly.
And
I love how JoJo's does this.
Yes, and I love that they did something that is very, very different from what they've done so far. They kept the characters.
Yeah, right.
Kept a lot of the characters. But as far as like the power and what the conflict's going to revolve around and stuff, they completely changed it, which is great because now we really don't know what's going to happen because
like
with the
we know where the conflict is going to be centralized around with regards to Dio
and
Joseph and Jotaro,
but we don't know how it's going to happen.
Right.
Like and I think that's great because if they had I think it would have been tough for them to continue going with Hamon. And Pillar Men or vampires or however they wanted to do it. Like if it was just the idea that Dio's just a vampire again
in terms of creativity.
Yeah.
But this is just showing how the writer can creatively come up with ways to essentially put a new spin on something that we've already accepted to be true.
Yes. And
one, that the Joestars have access to crazy powers, and Hamon is basically the current perception of that power, and the next evolution of that for plot reasons is now stands.
And the fact that they brought that up in the first episode, makes it so that we're okay with it because it doesn't seem like they're pulling it out of their butts later.
Right.
But also, because JoJo's has established that the main characters, or any characters really, can and will make up powers when the story demands it, means we're already prepared for this, so we're not bugged.
Yeah, we're not kind of like, oh, okay, I guess stands is now a thing suddenly. No, I think it's actually kind of fun because they actually showed a clever way in which it is connected to Hamon, But it was just casually kind of thrown out there. It's like, oh yeah, when you can't breathe, you lose your connection to your stand.
And that's one of the things that I think is great, because it'll help keep the fights interesting. Because even in the fights with the Pillar Men, if you notice, they didn't use Hamon nearly as much as they did in Phantom Blood, right? Because it was this different thing. One, it didn't work on the Pillar Men as much, and but there were all these different factors for it.
Yeah.
So now they're completely moving away from it, and not retconning it, but they're saying this is what we're going to be doing here, which allows for more awesome designs.
You know what it really is? It allows for more awesome characters and character designs, because think about it this way: you have all these characters that'll be introduced in the future, and each one of them could potentially have their own unique stand. And it's now going to be this thing of like, oh, Nani, that stand is so powerful. What is it? And it's like, oh, wouldn't you like to know? And then they're going for it. And then it's this kind of like guessing game of trying to figure out like, what is their stand? Right. Oh my gosh.
Yes, because they can have new rules for each person. And
that are all completely unique.
And because they haven't been doing that really up till this point, because in Phantom Blood it was just like, we'll make up the rules as we go.
Right.
And then with the Battle Tendency, it was very much sort of simple established rules that didn't really change too much. Except with the exception of like when cars transformed.
But I think that in Battle Tendency that was good because they were they were built upon the rules that were established in Phantom Blood.
But in each part it seems like they're basically fundamentally changing how the battles and things will happen, which is great because that's a way to just keep things fresh. And the fact that they're stands, I think that's really funny, because not only do we get double the designs, we get double the poses.
Yes, so many poses now.
That's what
makes JoJo's the show. It really is. And also a fun thing about this, I didn't really think about this initially, but I was, in the break in between the episodes and stuff, I was thinking about stands, and I was like, like what other shows kind of maybe copied something from this or were inspired by this? And I think back to other shonen where they had essentially the main character have some kind of evil demon spirit inside of them. And it was a thing of, can they control that, being effectively? And I'm like, oh, they're in Japan,
Right, and that's
Japanese mythology. It works. But the cool thing that they can do about it that structurally is done in a show like Hunter x Hunter is you can make the fights be about knowledge. It can be about knowing what kind of stand you're up against.
Although I get the feeling, yes, I feel that is totally going to be a thing, but it's also going to be the thing where, since it's JoJo's, you have to both take it seriously all the time and at the same time not take it seriously.
Right. But I think we'll be able to tell which stands will be the funny ones and which ones won't be. And I think Dio's in particular will not be a funny one.
No.
His will be one that we'll take seriously, and that'll be a big deal because we now know, based on what they've exposited in this episode, which they did quite a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
But because Joseph and Jotaro's dynamic works so well, it carried a lot of the exposition through.
And
we know that Dio will have a stand, right? Like,
yes.
I mean, am I wrong in assuming that?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
I would say that's like super obvious. Like I would have been disappointed if they basically made a big deal about that. I'm like, what? Dio has a stand? Because he has Jonathan's body. There's the star. He's got a stand.
Right.
But also the fact that they did the exposition dump in the first episode in a lot of in other stories, that would be a bad thing most of the time because you don't want to bog down your story with exposition right out the gate. But since this is the third parter, so one, we already have been introduced to the world and a lot of the characters.
Yeah, we are bringing Joseph and Dio into the story with context.
Right.
So we don't need to really be introduced to them. We're just selling Jotaro and essentially his family.
Right. And because of that, they're able to have this exposition in there, and they don't have to worry about bogging things down too much, because we were coming into this so excited to see what Joseph's like in his old age, what this new JoJo is like, and wait, Dio's back. What are they doing with that? How is that going to work?
So let's go through the episode a little bit. Dio being back, this is huge, because when we finished Phantom Blood, we were so surprised that they wrote Dio out of the story.
And we were like, okay,
okay.
Whatever villain's next, they're probably going to bring
Dio's
going to
come back. And we totally called it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that them doing this and it being somewhat predictable, I think is really good, because Dio as a character was really strong. Like not like strong as in like his powers were strong, but
his personality,
he had
presence.
personality and presence.
And a lot of times you could kind of see what he was going to be doing, because it would always be some form of scheming, evil, puppy kicking, whatever.
Right.
But
that fits.
He just sold it.
Right, but that fits so much in this universe. But because we don't have a Jonathan Joestar, an epitome of lawful good to go against him, we're gonna get someone who's maybe a little bit like chaotic good, or maybe like
chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah,
I'm really excited to see what Jotaro's kind of morality alignment.
Yeah, I think
will be.
I think Joseph was more of the chaotic good, and Jotaro's more of the chaotic neutral.
Well, he's on the neutral spectrum.
Yeah, he's on the neutral spectrum, that's for sure. So it'll be really interesting to see.
I could see him being true neutral. Or maybe lawful neutral.
Possibly, yeah.
I could see him being all three of them in some ways.
Any of them would work. We'll only really be able to tell when we
get more of him.
We get more of him. Mm-hmm. But this makes me so excited for the interactions between him and Joseph.
Yes,
because they both seem just
very different.
So like abrasive. Like Jotaro, just abrasive in general, right?
Right.
But Joseph, like he's going to be abrasive specifically with Jotaro, and I cannot wait for that. Like that's just going to be amazing.
You know what I'm seeing here?
What?
This is kind of the curmudgeon-y old mentor and estranged kind of son, you could say. And which means that they're going to go on an arc of coming to understand and care about each other.
Yeah, they could exactly. In the same way that Caesar and Joseph started out on the wrong foot, and then they ended up being like brothers, right? They can do the same thing here, except they'll do the curmudgeon-y tsundere grandpa.
Right, I love tsundere grandpa.
And
thank you so much for having Joseph in the story.
This is going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah,
I really want to see this bit of having Joseph be the one that has some sort of like useful to like not useful at all kind of stand, to where Jotaro's is just absolutely overpowered, like just stupid OP.
Because why not?
Well, because he's also the main character in this.
Oh yeah.
I think we could say that, but also to have him going on a journey of understanding, like the stand itself, and have that be his character growth instead of having it be just a mentor to mentoree, or however you say that.
Okay.
Basically having this stand, because I'm guessing it has some kind of personality as well.
Possibly.
Because it's bringing him stuff. Like, why is it doing that? He's not asking for it.
No.
So it obviously has like, maybe it has his own sense of musical style or something. Like, who knows? And I want to see that be a teaching back and forth thing within Jotaro, but also having that be a thing that extends out to other characters as well.
Sure. Now, did you notice that they specifically gave Joseph in his stand something that resembled like diluted Speedwagon powers?
Yes, you're right. You're right. It is not true Speedwagon Word of God powers.
Yes,
but,
no power word knowledge,
right.
but they did give him something that is specifically for providing information to the main character, which is great because it has a certain nostalgia to it, because it's not just that it's going to be a plot mechanism, right? But it also reminds you
of who we lost
in Speedwagon, and I love that. And it could also be something where Joseph could still use Hamon. Potentially.
Yes. Well, I think as long as Dio is a vampire, Hamon will be somewhat effective.
Useful, yeah.
I think that what they could end up having this be is stands are basically Hamon vision avatars.
Sure.
So there's an essence probably of Jotaro within his stand, just as Muhammad Abdul has an essence of himself within his stand.
Right.
Was it Crimson Red or
Magician's
Red?
Yeah.
Magician's Red. When you have these supernatural-esque beings fighting each other on behalf of their wielders, what are the wielders doing?
Exactly.
So maybe they then duke it out with things like Hamon and vampire abilities.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be really cool.
And it's then more of a thing of, let's try and
kind of like Fate with like the servants and the
yes, exactly,
and the masters.
They're trying to strategically maneuver the battle so it ends up being a 2-on-1 at some point.
Right.
So you can basically like try and use a binding ability on one of their stands, and then we, double team the wielder.
That means we could be getting some very chaotic fights, which I'm really excited about.
Because generally they've been always 1v1s.
Yep.
And now they'll be 2v2s with the potential of them being like 2v1s or like 4v4s.
Or 4v2s or however they want to do it. Which could be awesome.
It'd be really awesome.
Now, if you notice, that kind of means that one of our favorite My Hero Academia characters is a JoJo's reference.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Tokoyami has a stand.
Tokoyami has a stand,
and it's called Dark Shadow.
That's basically what it is.
That's so true. But to be fair, the whole, demon inside of someone thing, I don't think. I don't know.
Well,
tell us if we're wrong, but I don't think JoJo's started that trend.
No, but I would not at all be surprised if it popularized
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised either. I'm guessing that it's something that has been around for a lot longer than even anime has.
And at the very least, what seems to happen most of the time in anime or whatever, when there is some sort of like inner demon, is that it's more of something of it taking over the person rather than it becoming a secondary entity.
That's a good point, because these leave the bodies of the wielder.
Right.
They probably have some limitations as to how far they can, like, go from their wielder.
Sure.
Like, say, there's
Tokoyami.
Yeah, exactly. There has to be some kind of connective Hamon energy or whatever that, extends them back
who
to
knows how it works.
their wielder. But that would be cool to have there be many mechanics within there. Like, let's say they draw energy from the Hamon within the wielder, and say if they were to go into a breathing meditative state, it would heal their stand. Or it would, it would regenerate their power back to full.
Right. I don't think
I could see that being a thing.
I could totally see that being a thing. I don't think... One of the things that I'm a little bit worried about, and this is more of something that I would be worried about if this wasn't JoJo's, is that it would become something where the two people are just like sitting down meditating to give the most potential breath to their stand, and then the stands are just battling instead of the characters themselves. But because of how much style JoJo is, if anything, it would probably be powered from their poses.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say,
and that would be awesome. Like if we got to see two demon things doing battle while the masters,
they just pose harder.
They just pose harder and try to come up with something more elaborate and intense to beat their enemy.
I think what it could be is there's an essence of commanding your stand versus being in like unity with your stand, like being like of one mind and of one accord. And I could see the meditating bit actually happen for a couple of things. Because let's say, for one, the stand is out and about doing things, but you don't know who the wielder is. The wielder is just sitting behind a bush somewhere meditating, and the stand is attacking Jotaro, and he's like, oh, crap, we have to find the wielder. And maybe he uses some kind of ability to, determine if he can see the trail of the Hamon originating to where the person is. And they could be like hiding in a crowd, or there's ways that they could do it to where it doesn't have to be centered around the person wielding the stand, or the person who's the master of the stand. I think they said master. They said stand name and then stand master. So I'm guessing it's a master servant kind of thing.
I could see that.
Kind of like Fate.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I like this though.
I do like it.
I like it a lot,
and it's so different that I'm really excited to see how they do this, because it will be something very much different from what we've seen before. Because like up till now, it's all been sort of like personal enhancement type stuff.
Right. So because it fits the whole shonen a super meat sack kind
exactly that JoJo's probably started.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Or at least
JoJo's.
Well, yeah, JoJo's by any means
JoJo's is riding the
but,
trend of the 80s when that was a big thing.
Right, but
I don't think JoJo's originated that.
No.
It's more of a popularization thing rather than the origin of it.
But so how are they going to do this? Like just the battles in general, because
I just mentioned a whole bunch of ways.
No, I know.
I think
but
that
like
I think that one of my favorite things that I see coming from this is the stands themselves are a character that is their power. So you know how people will say oftentimes that this character went on a lot of character development, which is basically them just saying their power level increased.
Right.
And they didn't actually go on character development.
But
this is a clever way for them to go on character development that's directly tied to their power because they're understanding the person of their stand.
Well, or at least their stand is getting character development.
But that's the thing, though. It's probably not mutually exclusive. Like,
sure, yeah.
That's a... It's let's just say... Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm meaning.
Yeah.
But the idea that as the stand grows in power, it's also the character coming to understand more...
Understand?
Yeah. More about their stand.
No one's made that pun before.
No one's made that pun
Never,
before.
probably.
Of course,
Nope, not at all.
But going to the story, Jotaro's personality is a new one for JoJo's as far as we have seen thus far, and I like that it's one where he has the swagger and kind of the confidence of someone like Joseph. Yeah, but he's much more brash and a little bit less intelligent. Like, you can see that he's not the kind of person who is calculating like Joseph or cunning.
What he seems like is that basically he takes a lot from Joseph.
He takes a lot from Joseph.
The things that he doesn't take from Joseph are taken from Jonathan and flipped.
Right. Exactly.
So,
yeah, that's a great way to put it. In that Joseph had all this
cunning
and quick-witted thinking and such.
Right.
Jotaro might not be as quick-witted, but he has the intelligence to back up some of his kind of decisions and stuff.
Right.
But in terms of thinking long, like future, kind of planning things out way in advance, I think that he's not going to be good at that, and that puts a spot for Joseph to have his character be really relevant in where he's going to, not exactly like Speedwagon, but sort of like Speedwagon, cover a lot of Jotaro's flanks and his shortcomings. Yeah.
One of the things that I would say that Jotaro does have that neither of the JoJo's have had up till this point is that he was shown as being proactive. So when we were brought onto the story, he was already actively like harnessing his power, or at least working to, even if it maybe wasn't as effective as it could have been.
For sure.
Whereas with in the case of Jonathan, he didn't really know about it. Someone had to come along and sort of spoon feed it to him, right? And then in the case of Joseph, he had such a c'est la vie, carefree attitude, that he was actually a reactionary character, a very reactionary character, and we loved him for it because he rode the waves so well.
He did.
But Jotaro seems like he's going to be someone that is actually going to be like actively hunting down. Like
he's a determinator. Watch, he's going to end up being a determinator.
I could see that. He seems like he's trying to be like a bit of an edgier JoJo.
But the thing is that edge,
not in a bad way.
That edge I see ending up being something where he is a little bit of a shonen protagonist in a good way.
I think he's a bit of a big shonen protagonist because they made a point of showing that he, like all other JoJo's before him, is 195 centimeters.
Yes.
And probably scrapes his shoulders on doorways when he walks into a room,
Yeah. I'm saying that his character will be one that does whatever it takes to achieve his kind of goal.
Right.
And that he is indomitable.
Yep.
And
he probably won't
is a little bit nearsighted and short-sighted when it comes to
how he accomplishes that objective. Yeah, he probably won't do it in such a roundabout way. As Joseph sometimes did.
That's the best one we've done all of this video. That was fantastic. Okay, but his mom's character is kind of goofy. I like that she's comic relief a little bit. But I like that Joseph is also comic relief a little bit.
Yeah. It was one of those things where when I saw her, I'm like, oh, like, she actually looks slightly different from Erina this time.
Yeah.
But they owned that. Mm-hmm. You know, I liked it.
But Dio.
Dio
is back.
Yep.
Dio is still a vampire.
He needs to get a comb.
He has taken over Jonathan's body.
Right.
Which, let's assume that it's worked, and it's probably not going to come back as being a thing where Jonathan's body rejects Dio at the end or anything.
But I think
like
that might be something that that could be something that they use as a way to, now this would be clever, get rid of the stands after this part, because if Dio's defeated and Jonathan's body's gone, then the stands might go away, and then they can come up with some new power for part 4. Right? They could totally do that. I don't know if they will choose to do that, because this does look very cool, and who knows how well they'll be able to explore it in this part.
I think stands have limitless potential comparatively to the Hamon versus vampire.
Yes, and that's probably the main reason why they decided to change it to stands. Right. But if they wanted to, the opportunity is there. They could change it and have it make a lot more sense than this one. Not that this one didn't make sense, because it's like, if there aren't vampires, then it's not going to mean as much. And because Dio's has JoJo's or Jonathan's body, I can't say JoJo because that's like, who are you talking about? But because he has Jonathan's body, that might mean that Hamon only works on like his face, which would mean in a fight it'd be way less effective because he could like block it with his hands or whatever. I mean, who knows? Yeah, exactly.
I could see that. I think that Dio being on the scene as a character, though, is something to where this is the premise for how he came back. It's not a thing to carry over into the mechanics of the story later.
Sure, I can totally see that.
I think the main thing that could be really exciting here is that Dio could go on his own arc alongside, parallel-wise with the story with Jotaro.
That's true,
and because his stand might not be something that he has full knowledge over.
Yeah, well, and also because because the Phantom Blood was 9 episodes, right?
Yeah.
And this one's probably going to be a lot longer than that.
Well, they've been slowly making the arcs longer.
Exactly. So that means they could actually have enough time to give Dio a bit more screen time than he did before. Because the times that he was in Phantom Blood, they were great. They were awesome. He stole the spotlight whenever he was on screen.
Yeah.
But it was still
localized.
It was still very much localized.
Yeah.
They'd be like, okay, he's here, he's doing his scheming evil thing, which you'll see for a little bit, but then Jonathan shows up like 5 minutes later and destroys it. No, he has to run away again.
Right. But here's my bit with Dio is if he goes on a little bit of a character arc.
Yeah.
We could finally get what I've always wanted in JoJo, which is a world tour kind of storyline.
We absolutely
they go around all over the world and learn stands with other people, and they meet all these other stand masters and such.
Yeah.
And Dio also particularly is going around because he's like, what the bloody hell is this demon thing?
Right.
Nani?
if Dio still has his head, now I don't think they're going to make the vampire powers really be a thing.
I agree. I think if anything, they'll be a thing in his visual look, in his annoyance of sunlight, like that he has to deal with that.
Or at least he wears like a hooded cloak everywhere or something like that.
Yeah, well,
who knows?
Yeah.
But what I'm wondering is
being a small bit of it in the beginning, especially since he probably doesn't have instant control of his stand.
Exactly.
Or he hasn't even really discovered it yet.
But what I'm wondering is if he doesn't have an ability to create more minions, or if the minions that he creates he just realizes are peons, they're ineffective, right? Then how does he go about really scheming? Because the whole point of scheming is to, manipulate or to build up resources.
He takes over the world.
Okay.
Jacob, like that's basically what he wanted, right? He wanted a kingdom. He wanted to stand atop
absolutely right
all the others and
stand atop. Yeah. So
oh my god, there's gonna be so many puns.
But the thing is that
freaking power.
If his stand is something that has a localized effect, right? Like maybe it's something where he's really good in a fight, but if it doesn't allow him to gain control of other people, or do something
That's
along
where the vampire
those lines,
stuff comes in, though.
Yeah, that could be where the vampire stuff comes in. But apart from that, so that's why I'm interested to see how they have Dio be scheming and make it still be fresh and new from what he was doing previously.
Okay, I think I'd give you some creative ideas, but I think you could come up with some in 20 minutes if you thought about it. Is that he just needs to grab someone with the stand and turn them into a vampire. Done. There you go.
Oh,
that's literally like. That's all he needs to do.
Okay.
There he has them as a slave.
Right.
And maybe their stand isn't as strong, but...
Sure.
I
mean, they probably wouldn't be breathing when they're dead, but, the details.
Well...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's just one of the things that I'm curious to see, because I'm excited to see them move away from the vampire and the ham-on stuff and all that, but at the same time, if they're moving away from that, then how do they make Dio do the things that he was doing before so he feels similar, but at the same time different because he's doing them in a different way?
Yeah, I have no doubt that Dio will do very well in his scheming plans, in that he will succeed quite a lot at gaining followers, power, influence, money, all of the above. Yes, hair. More hair for Dio, because hair length is directly proportionate to
your power level. Yeah.
So Dio is just pretty strong, or at the very least, his stand is pretty strong.
Not quite as strong as Cars yet,
That's a good point. I like that Dio starts off right now. I mean, unless he has full control of a stand that's crazy or whatever.
Sure.
He is right now probably weaker than Cars was at his ultimate life form, and maybe even where Cars was as a Pillar Man.
Right.
Or maybe he's not as strong as like Wham was.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of the things that made Dio especially interesting, because it wasn't just the idea that he was, this flamboyant puppy kicker, right? But it was the idea that he was actually weaker than Jonathan.
Oh, yeah.
And he would scheme. Now, because you knew Jonathan was such the, lawful good protagonist, he was going to win, and it would, he'd just win. That was how it was going to go.
Right.
But because of how they've changed the character dynamic here, they could have Dio, and because they'll have more time, they could make Dio really win, and do things where you're like, okay, Dio, you
clever bastard.
You clever bastard. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to that parallel story where they are separated by land and, time or what have you, but they're going to slowly draw them closer and closer to each other. And I want to see equally, maybe not equally, but like 70-30, like Jotaro's story and then like 30%, Dio's story happening.
Oh, yeah.
Because whenever they had Dio's little moments of him like scheming and stuff, and it wasn't just him kicking puppies or slaughtering babies or having his minions slaughter babies, I was like, dang, Dio really carries the villain antagonist role very well. Like he's a good antagonist.
Like the main reason I would say Phantom Blood is so good, because it is it is weaker than Battle Tendency.
Yeah,
but most of its reason for being good, I would say, was because of Dio.
Yeah, and I would say Zeppeli was probably the other really good bit with with Phantom Blood, but Dio's moments were if you think about the better episodes of Phantom Blood, it's the beginning with Dio, and then the middle, because Dio's not really there as much. Well, he's sort of there, but not really. And then at the end, when they fight Dio, So having a whole arc where it's a manhunt to stop Dio sounds fantastic.
That sounds awesome.
Because I think Dio's the kind of slippery bastard where it's not going to be easy to really stop him. I think it would be fun to see Dio lose a couple times, and probably because he doesn't have like a stand that he understands and is able to utilize effectively. And then over time, he gets stronger and stronger and stronger to come back and actually this Jotaro, it's another freaking JoJo, and I want to
find myself rooting for Dio. Like
every once in a while.
Like every once in a while.
Yeah,
like still have him be that terrible person, because he's the puppy kicking Dio. But
having him be the underdog every once in a while would be kind of cool.
Yes.
I get the feeling though that that's not going to be the case near the end.
No.
But
no. But
seeing Dio maybe like growing in that regard would be kind of cool. Also, if anything, Dio's talking, his voice actor and all that, I really like his voice actor in particular. So having him having someone to actually interact with and talk with makes it better than having him just monologuing in the dark like he was here at the end of this episode.
They could have Dio be talking to his stand.
Exactly.
Exactly. Think about it. If stands are like tied in some way to the personality of the person,
they probably are somewhat. Yeah,
they probably are somewhat. And granted, okay, it's Jonathan's body, so maybe it doesn't have Dio's personality.
Maybe he hates his stand. And he's just trying to subjugate it.
However they do it, whether it's them being very similar and getting along very well, or being very different and not getting along well. There is so much potential for conflict and awesome interactions, and I am so excited to see that happen.
Maybe the stand will be somewhat connected to Jonathan to the point of where he feels like he's talking to an old long lost friend. And it will be the other way,
or
where he's actually
like the enemy.
Yes, but the thing is that the last moment Jonathan and Dio spent together was him holding Dio in his arms.
That's true.
And it was kind of the thing of we're not so different, kind of thing.
That's true.
And they were brothers, so maybe it's going to be more of a thing of where Dio will kind of appreciate the fact that there's a little bit of Jonathan as well in the stand. So
possibly.
Anyhow, this is some really good stuff, and I'm excited for this arc to keep going. But we're gonna call the discussion here. If you want to see the next episode right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access. If you want to see the full-length reaction of this episode, also check out our Patreon. We got a full-length tier there. And we'll see you all later. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.